Crop, Devil Dog Gaming, step into it!
Hello everybody, it's me, Nate, aka Devil Dog, and I'm back with an arcade cabinet, an arcade 1-up update. Now what is the update that I'm talking about? Well, as you can see here, I have my Champion Edition of Street Fighter 2 arcade 1-up cabinet, and I have my Rampage arcade 1-up cabinet. They finally sent me the damn Rampage. I don't know what took them so long, but they finally got it here. And I want to have some updates with the facts of how both these things how they last, how they hold up in the overall build quality. Now, first of all, I've been playing the living hell out of the Street Fighter 2 Champion cabinet. Now, I don't know if you'll notice this, I will zoom in so you can actually see, but I've made some upgrades to it, which I actually highly recommend to you people if you actually do pick one of these up. Now, over here we have our Rampage cabinet, and I'm pretty much going to put this through the paces on this video as well. So let's go ahead and get the camera moved down, and I'll show you basically some of the updates I did with the Street Fighter 2 cabinet before I get to the Rampage one. Alright everybody, there has been a couple modifications done to this system which I highly recommend that you do. Arcade 1-Up says if you purchase one of these new now, they'll come with a plastic plexiglass little shield that you bolt down to keep the artwork from coming off. Honestly, it's kind of a half-ass fix to a problem they knew was going to happen, and while it does work, it does make it a little bit less fun to play. So what I did is I layered this with a nice, you pretty much just take this off. There's 4 bolts to remove it. You take it off, and I just layered it with a nice layer of lacquer and let it dry. Because all you have to do is just go to your local hardware store, grocery store, just about every place will sell this, and just pick up, I got some Rust-Oleum Ultimate Polyurethane lacquer, and all you do is you just brush it on the top, let it dry, and then you have a nice protective coating over top of the artwork so it will not rub off. As long as you paint it nice and smooth with the brush, you'll get a nice good job. You can also get the spray can, but the only thing I recommend with the spray can is you'll have to remove all your buttons and stuff before you do that because you don't want to spray it on the buttons. While if you use paint on lacquer, paint on polyurethane, you can just take a paintbrush and paint it on here, no problem, and you have no problems in getting it done. Let it dry for a couple hours and boom, you got a nice protected top that you can play with and you don't have to worry about it. Now the next addition that I did is I removed the ball joysticks and I added these bat top ones that you can pick up online for about like $3 to $5 each. They're not that hard to get, and all they do is they screw right on the additional post of the joystick, and there you go. You have a nice updated bat top system to play your Street Fighter game with. Now that's pretty much all the modifications I did to it other than removing the glass panel here, the plexiglass, to where you have a higher resolution of the screen. It looks a little brighter, a little crisper. Other than that, I haven't modified the speaker system yet or the buttons. These are still the normal buttons that come with it. Other than that, the other thing I recommend you do is if you go to any sort of store, you can buy these little like furniture coasters that you put underneath that you can slide and move furniture easy with. That's so much easier. I mean, you can pick these guys up. They're only 63 pounds. But if you want to move them around and everything with no problem, just put a couple of the coasters on the bottom of it and you can just slide these things across the room, no problem. And that's actually pretty cool. But now on to showing what this Rampage cabinet can do. Alright, now on to the new Rampage cabinet I've received. As you can see here, the main flaw with this system, hands down, is if you put it on a riser and you're standing, it won't be as bad. But there is officially no real way for 3 human beings, other than little kids, to play this without getting a little too close, if you know what I mean. Because look at this. They got the first one offset, so I like to play these sitting in a chair. If you play these sitting in a chair, it's really impractical because you have to be about here, all the way on the side, on the first player to play this, and you have no view of this damn screen. You have to do this. And when you do that, you're right in the face of the other person. So this is a very impractical ass setup. In order to play this, they should have let it widen out a little bit more with the the joysticks offset a little bit more. But the problem is with this screen, you're seeing about this much of the screen over here. Okay, now if I were to move in here, as you can see, I'm a rather big guy. I take up the whole damn thing, okay? Street Fighter 2 you can actually play with 2 players fairly easily with chairs and everything. This, there's no practical way in hell unless you're standing up that 3 people can play this thing correctly without bumping and getting in the way. This is a severe design flaw, and, you know, it's just terrible. It's honestly terrible. But let's go ahead and play some Rampage. See what it works. Pressing, you know, 1 player button will give you more credits, and picking what button you press with the jump and punch picks the character. I have not noticed any sort of dead pixels or anything on my system yet. The sound, honestly, I'm not noticing any delay to it, but once again, much like the Street Fighter cabinet, you see this thing, it rocks. It rocks. Now, once again, I do have it in the same spot where the Street Fighter cabinet was, and it doesn't really move as bad, but they both wiggle. And when you're playing this, they will jiggle and move a lot, which is a design flaw over the weight that they just don't weigh enough. Now, you can go and add like weight to the bottom of it, but you got to be careful since this is that plexiboard, you know, composite, you know, it's not real wood. Putting too much weight in the bottom of this will actually break the bottom out. So you have to be careful with it. You can add a little bit of weight, but in the end, not much weight. Because the fact of the matter is, these things just don't weigh enough to keep them rattling around when you're playing them. Other than that, the gameplay is great. I played all 3 characters. They all play great. Not that bad. But let's go ahead and back on out of here and go to the next game on this list. Because naturally, you get Rampage, Gauntlet, Joust, and Defender. I have not gotten to level 30 yet on Gauntlet. A lot of these systems have a flaw in the computer chip, the emulation, that when you reach level 30 on Gauntlet, the game will crash. So let's go ahead and try to play it and see. Let me wait and see. Oh, I apologize. It does have this startup screen, but I've noticed no sound. I don't remember if it has sound or not. But let's go ahead and... Okay, I'll pick Wizard. Let's give myself a good amount of life here. And let's go ahead and start it. I'm going to see if it gets to level 30 and if I have the lucky one that crashes and breaks. See how it sounds.
Fighter, 100 points.
Hiker, 100 points.
Say E to open doors.
Thank you to open doors. So it sounds, identical.
Say open for later use.
They open for later use. Sounds like a guy with a speech impediment. Oh. It seems to play rather well, but now I'm going to go ahead and skip to level 30 and see if mine has the glitch or not. Did take a lot of time, but once I got to level 30 and got to level 31, fortunately my cabinet doesn't appear to have that problem. I was spared the glitch, apparently. Don't know how or why, but I'll go ahead and I'll take it. But let's go ahead and try Joust next. Glitch still works. Well, Joust actually plays perfect. The controls are all the same. The sound's the same. I'm not noticing any lag, and it's even got the little glitches where you can fly through the corner there if you're bouncing on the bird's knees. So actually, all in all, the Joust on here is really, really good. But I know the last one I'm not going to like. The last one on this gaming system is the one that people have complained about the worst. Defender. They claim it's unplayable. Oh, I can see why. They expect you to use this button to fire, this button to warp, this button for smart bombs, this is thrust, and this is reverse. So they expect you to be able to use all these buttons. That's pretty fucking dumb, actually. Okay, this is fucking unplayable. Hands down, Defender is completely unplayable. They expect you to use the joystick here along with this button to move forward, that button to turn around, super button, and while over here. Well, honestly, if they had it set up to where it was these buttons, and maybe, I don't know, have it to where you press both down for the super attack, that would actually work. That would be an easy way to actually redoing it. Having it to where you have to do this crap, that's not plausible. That's fucking stupid. I'll say it, that's stupid. That is very stupid. In the end, though, I would have to say this is actually a pretty good little cabinet. As long as you know what you're getting. Rampage plays perfectly just like Rampage should. The only problem is there's no real way for three human beings sitting down to play this together. There's no damn way physically possible, because player one would have to be all the way over here, player three would have to be over here. You can't see the screen, and you know that's just not going to work. Honestly, Gauntlet, it's not a bad game. It's only the two-player version, so two people can play this just fine on Gauntlet. The sound effects sounded garbled and kind of shitty, though. I've noticed, like, when there was multiple things at once, it would, like, but, you know, okay, I can get past that. I don't know if it was like that in the arcade. I'm pretty sure it wasn't. Now, oddly enough, Joust plays perfectly. There's no lag. There's no button press lag at all. The sound matches up perfectly. It plays fantastic. It plays just like I remember it. And Defender, Okay, this is a turd sandwich here. They should make this thing about $150 cheaper for the fact you can't play Defender. Whoever mapped the buttons that way should be taken out in the shot, because they're a moron. You can't play Defender on this damn thing successfully. That is a joke. But in the end, I would say I actually like this cabinet. I know what they are. I know I don't expect a huge lot. And if you figure you're paying about $300 for these things, they should be cheaper, I do agree, but at the $300 price point for what you get, it's actually not a bad product once they get their quality standards up to par. Because the quality standards with these things currently is a friggin' joke, okay? There's been so many people have problems with these things, and trying to get a hold of the customer service line just to wait several weeks, if not months, to get a replacement part is unacceptable. And I know they're a new business that's out and starting, but this is through Tastemakers, okay? These are the people that made Hatchimals. You would think they would know how to come out with a product and know how to do customer service for it, but apparently this one just kind of caught them off in left field and they didn't know what to do. But before I go, I'm going to give you a nice little treat of something you can do to unlock Akuma in Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo Edition. Alright everybody, here's a little secret. You can actually unlock and play as Akuma in this game. If you die with him, you'll have to put the code back in. I can't do it, okay? I suck at this and I can't do it fast enough. I wish I could show you. But you can actually unlock and play Akuma on Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo Edition by basically, I'm going to try it once, but I suck. I'm not fast enough to do this. They expect you to stay 3 seconds on Ryu. Then move over to T-Hawk for 3 seconds. Then go to Guile for 3 seconds. Then go to Camry for 3 seconds. Then go back to Ryu. Hit all 3 punch buttons and the start button at the same time. If you do that fast enough, it'll actually change that icon to a black outline and you can play as Akuma. No joke. I can't get it to work, but apparently it is true. So that was pretty much what I have to say about that. In the end, the arcade one-up cabinets are a neat thing. I do believe they're the flavor of the month, so to say. You can go and make yourself a Raspberry Pi or a candy cabinet like other people have suggested, but that's a legal emulation. This is branded emulation, and not that it makes it a better quality. But in the end, for the fact that they're 3/4 scale, slightly on the smaller side, replicas of the arcade cabinets. The only thing I would have to say that I recommend also is get somebody to get you a clear piece of plexiglass that you can actually put the artwork on. Then put some battery powered LEDs behind it. That way you can have a lit up marquee of your own, because these are just wood pieces with prints on them in the end, but definitely go and pick up some sort of lacquer or something that you can cover this with, because their fix of the plastic plexiglass shield is a friggin' joke. It doesn't even lay flush with the screws and everything. My idea is a lot better and a lot quicker than how long they'll take to send you one of these damn things. Is basically, like I said, just cover this with a nice thick lacquer or polyurethane, either a spray. If you're going to use a spray, remove the buttons in your joysticks so you don't screw them up. But in the end, just coat this with a nice lacquer, polyurethane coating. That way the artwork will stay on to where it won't rub off with your acid. And honestly, with Street Fighter 2, you can pick up these ball cabinets, the back cabinet tops, the screw on there, fairly cheap to modify it to make it into a more realistic version of Street Fighter. In the end, are they the best items out on the market? Most certainly not. The sound is mono. It's poorly done. There are glitches with these. Fortunately, the cabs that I've received don't seem to have any sort of issue with pixels on the dead pixels, or the build quality isn't that bad. Honestly, it's just like a piece of IKEA furniture. They're not that bad, but the only problem is there's not enough weight in them, so they do rock when you play them. 2 people can successfully play Street Fighter sitting down or standing up if you have the riser. 3 people cannot play the damn Rampage cabinet unless you're standing up, and even then, I hope you like being close to your friends. But in the end, they're neat little items for what they are, and that's pretty much all I got to say about the arcade one-up cabinets. And I want to say thank you for everyone who subscribes to my channel. I want to say thank you for everyone who watches this video. Please leave in the comments below if you've got one of these items, or if you plan on getting them, or if you have any questions you want to know about them that I can definitely give you some information on. And remember to hit that bell icon so you can stay up to date whenever I release new any sort of videos. And remember, people, I always end my videos by saying, have fun, play hard, and remember, people, the devil is in the details. Peace out.
If only I could turn back time.